Ladies and gentlemen, our second bout of the evening remains under kickboxing rules, and it is set for 3 2-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts red corner, please welcome to the cage, Isiah Trujillo.
We are back with fight number 2 of the evening, fight fans, here at Sparta Sports and Entertainment, Wyoming 4. Just a quick little correction on what Big Mo said. Our first fight of the night was Muay Thai rules, meaning you could use those elbows. This is kickboxing, so elbows are not allowed. And they're not allowed for these two gentlemen we're looking at right now. The 26-year-old Isiah Trujillo making his way to the cage. He has the height advantage by 1 inch of 5'8". Of course, they both made the 140-pound limit. And it's a couple of debut fighters. Give us the tale on Mr. Patterson.
Well, first I'd like to say you mentioned an advantage. Isiah Trujillo has the tattoo advantage as well. Yeah, listen, you know, when you're at this age, it's about how well you sort of handle the pressure of the first fight. 1 inch taller, 1 inch shorter, a pound bigger, a pound smaller, that's not going to be the vital information here. It's who's able to settle into the reality of the fight quicker. And that's unknown at this point, but I'm pretty excited to find out.
I always tell folks, I get asked a lot, what's your favorite part about being involved in the closeness of the sport? And I always say, watching fighters from the very beginning of their career. I was in the gym the first time Donald Cowboy Cerrone ever walked into a gym and put on a pair of gloves.
Damn.
I got to call the first number, probably 4 or 5 fights for Ian Heinisch, who was supposed to fight in the UFC tonight. Watching guys go on to fight for world titles after seeing them, you know, training from the very beginning. I love it, and who knows, maybe we're looking at future world champions right here, right now.
I love what you're saying, my brother, because this is a path. This is a journey. Like, this is a walk. And over the course, and so is all of our lives, and whatever endeavor we partake in, you don't come out fully formed. You know, the adventure is part of cooking your recipe, you know, the learning from it. And a lot of the fighters here learn in the cage or in the ring, and there's no better place, especially as long as you're evenly matched, to be able to get in there and push each other to the limit. There's no better way to test yourself.
A lot of truths in fighting.
And his opponent, fighting out the nutrition company of Cheyenne Blue Corner, please welcome DeMarcus Patterson.
So we're going to hear a lot about high altitude martial arts. You've been around this gym, an extension, I guess, family of Elevation Fight Team.
Yeah, Denver is a really close-knit fight community. You know, I'd say probably Colorado, probably in the top 5 states as far as producing fighters.
Yes, sir.
Tremendous coaches here. Guys can go in day one in their career, being with a room full of killers that are just world class, but as you guys talked about in the intro, such nice people outside of the cage or the ring, so that means that they're helpful in their training. And yeah, high altitude martial arts, just one of those gyms that is not afraid to go around and work with other people, learn from other folks all the time, and put out tremendous athletes in their own right.
My brother, thank you for not saying the phrase iron sharpens iron, and instead actually explaining all of that.
There you go,
right?
yep.
You know, we have a tendency in fighting to try to simplify things, but this is not a simple thing.
It is
this
not.
This is a beautifully complex thing that, you know, sound bites and tweets do not explain the reality of what these people put their bodies through, what the journey of learning is, and they begin a different stage of that journey right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this kickboxing bout is brought to you by ATR Training Systems. Let's meet our fighters. First, fighting out the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts red corner, from Denver, Colorado, representing a family affair boxing, Isiah Trujillo. And his opponent, fighting out the nutrition company of Cheyenne Blue Corner, from Haiti, Missouri, representing high altitude martial arts, DeMarcus, the blessed martial artist, Patterson.
Brother, This
All right, guys,
is, of
got the
course,
rules in the
because
back.
of COVID,
Expect
this
clean,
is
fair
a
fight.
reduced
Come out banging. If
audience,
you want to touch them up, do it
smaller
now.
audience size, a very, very small capacity. And yet it's so loud in here already.
It's great, isn't it?
I'm shocked.
Got some fans that are into it.
Yeah, as soon as they said Trujillo was from Denver, I thought we actually had a full place. It's very cool.
Trujillo wearing the red gloves, Patterson wearing the blue gloves. It's punchy kicky time.
Get your Sparta face masks online right now also. We're wearing ours.
Referee Eric Hines, third in the cage.
Not all that uncommon to see the first technique expressed by a brand new fighter to be something like a flying knee.
Wouldn't he love to start his career with a flashy knockout, you know?
And of course that's a wonderful result. But, you know, doing the time and having the different experiences is probably more beneficial than if he had landed that.
Patterson doing a good job keeping his guard up against the high kicks of Trujillo. We're seeing both these guys offering up nice flexibility early on.
Now, you said these were kickboxing rules. Sometimes we'll say, you know, glory rules, because glory is a famous brand of kickboxing, and they have a few specific rules about the clinch. Generally, only one strike thrown, one punch or one knee thrown from that clinch. Yeah, that head kick flows nicely, but I really love the choice of Patterson to just answer to the body.
Slip by Trujillo, was not knocked down there, so pause in the action, a cleaning of the gloves, and back to it we go. Oh, and there was a groin strike the ref didn't see. Oh, and Trujillo starting to go to work. Good job by Patterson circling himself off the cage.
Yeah, Trujillo's hands are nice when he's, you know, it's easy to get distracted by the head kick. You know, in your mind, you might have imagined winning your fight by landing a head kick, but the reality of the fight is the reality of the fight. So when he gets his hands going, he does very well. And Patterson is very, very lunchbox about this. Hard hat, work boots, lunchbox about it. He's patient. I really like him.
Solid body kick. Landing very well for Patterson. Corner Trujillo imploring him to go forward as the 10-second clacker is sounded. That's what every coach wants, is for you to pour it on in those last 10 seconds.
You know, if we looked, these two young men have not fought before in full contact fighting. And when you look at that round, you see just how high level these gyms are now. When you can come into your first fight and have a round like that against another talented young kid, it's really impressive.
You know, and what we see out of debut fighters now, and this especially in MMA, what we see out of debut fighters used to be what you would see out of people starting to go into their pro careers. They're just so seasoned and they're starting so young and they're so well in mixing their arts now.
True. Patterson in the yellow with the blue gloves, he's really aware of where he is in space.
And he does a very nice job of bringing his hands back exactly where you want him to be, keeping that guard high and tight, and you're going to want to do that against a headhunter with his kicks like Trujillo.
Sometimes fighting is simpler than we make it. I said earlier it's very beautifully complex, but in other ways it's simple. I need to know where my weapons and targets are in relation to your weapons
Absolutely.
and targets, right? Patterson did that beautifully for a kid in his first kickboxing
And look
match.
at that, even as he's coming out of his corner, he has his hand up, ready to go.
I saw that.
Before the bell even rang. That is a well-coached young man.
Left hand glued to his temple, right? Why? Well, the right head kick has been coming at him. So why not? Let's glue our left hand up there. The body will be open.
It just saved him.
There it is. Exactly.
It saved him.
So this is really important for people who love to watch combat. There's a set of rules that exist when you're a novice. That all of those rules become moot when you're a master. So a rule like always keep your hands up is only true when you're a beginner. You know, for Dave LeDuc and Cyrus Washington, they'll play games of purposefully dropping their hands, and we look at he's hammering away in the clinch here.
Look at that flurry of knees by Patterson going to work.
Yeah, so Trujillo's corner was yelling for them to separate, said that this ain't Muay Thai, and he's right. There's supposed to be a strike and separate. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear that at home, but
I can't.
Trujillo's coach was very much correct. But don't fault Patterson. That's the job of the referee, not Patterson.
Yeah, and he was actually, the corner was talking to the referee. That's what he was saying.
Right.
So.
That's right. Patterson is a patient one.
He is, and Trujillo, I think, starting to slow down a little bit. Maybe he's starting to feel some of those knees that hit him in the breadbasket. That'll really take a lot of energy out of a fighter. And again, attacking right up the midline is Patterson. Good job with straight strikes by Patterson.
Very nice job. Now, Trujillo, you saw as he expressed this offense, how smoothly he kicks, how the nice, sweet high kicks, the smooth hands. But he's thinking offensively. How can I hit this guy? Whereas, now that he's being asked to move defensively, he's only able to do one or the other. Oh, gets touched with the left hand.
Oh, and a beautiful inside low kick near the end of the round by Patterson. Send his opponent back to his corner thinking about that last shot.
Yes, and Trujillo's corner, there's many ways to coach in corner, many. And we can't judge because we don't know the relationship of the individuals. But Trujillo's coach is giving him the tough love. Do you want me to stop this fight? And what he's saying is either give it everything or don't fight.
Exactly.
And we don't have the knowledge, the inside knowledge, to know if he's right and how much of that is motivation, how much of that is frustration. But look how smooth Patterson is. This is a kid in his first fight. And yes, this is the part the corner did not like.
Well, you talked about it with Patterson, the lunchbox work, or basically the blue-collar approach. I'm going to put my hands up, I'm going to step forward, I'm going to go to work, and you're not going to stop me. And that's paying off for him.
Yeah, there's so many lessons to be learned by watching fighting. I mean, that's why people become martial artists, or one of many reasons. You can extract lessons about how to live from this.
Certainly.
The way that Patterson's approaching this fight is a good way to approach anything.
Certainly a microcosm for life, yes, sir.
Now, fighting is a metaphor for life itself. When you look within this fight, this is a metaphor for a life lived. It's also a metaphor for your progress and evolution. It's also cool.
Trujillo going to work early with the hands.
And Patterson shook him a touch.
Finding success. And again with the brutal body kicks by Patterson.
Yeah. But Trujillo, that's a distraction. And it doesn't matter. You have to live within the reality of it as it's there. If you get hit to the groin but the ref doesn't see it, you must continue. And he is. Good for him.
Oh, beautiful body shots, and then upstairs with the uppercut. That uppercut landed solidly. Patterson now showing off his chin because he is seemingly unfazed by that.
I also love the way Trujillo reacted to his corner. It's showing that his corner really knows him. He knows how to motivate this kid. Trujillo's clearly a good fighter, and he's got a good coach. Perfect coach for him.
Round 2 of 3, 50 seconds left in the second round. Patterson extricates himself from being pushed up against the cage.
Yeah, Patterson truly is doing that. He's just going about his job. And he's slowing down, of course, too. So he's taking his foot off the gas and utilizing a little less energy as he throws his kicks and he moves. He's a little more relaxed.
Corner of Patterson telling him, keep with it, you're winning, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I met earlier a couple of these young coaches from high altitude martial arts, and some of them train at Elevation Fight Team. They're smart. They're real smart. They've got the right vibe for their fighters too. They create seemingly very calm fighters.
Another good round, a little slower pace. Both guys put out a ton of energy in rounds 1 and 2. We're going to see who digs deep and brings it in the third.
2-minute rounds. Yeah, look at that little float away, that flow back. Again, you talk about the rules, or the rules for a novice. One of them is don't be leaning around, but he's aware of his body. He understands himself. So good coaches will see that in you, and the rules will become different for you than they are for a different younger fighter. And novice is an incorrect word for both of these two fighters. They've clearly been at this, learning this game for a long time. You also notice Patterson, when the body shot isn't there, he just kick the arm. And that's, again, in our minds, the viewer sometimes think it's a blocked shot. It's not a blocked shot, it's a kick to the arm.
It's a kick to the arm.
And that
slows down the effectiveness of your opponent's punch.
And it hurts. It hurts.
And it hurts. Well, there's that.
Yeah, it may damage your fluidity. Oh, is this over? I believe this may be over.
Let's see here.
Well, we'll find out. In the meantime, we've got all this cool artwork that these two guys did. And look, Trujillo fought hard. You know, he had a coach who motivated him to get more out of him, and he fought really hard.
Take it up to Big Mo. He'll give us the official word.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 full rounds, we go to your judges' scorecard for the official decision. Judge number 1 scores about 29-28, while our second and third judges score 30-27, declaring your winner by unanimous decision, DeMarcus, the blessed martial artist, Patterson.
Congratulations to Mr. Patterson, goes home with the victory. I misspoke. I had called that as the second round. It was the third end of the fight, so we're going to take it up to Mr. Brent Bradley. He's going to give us the post-fight interview.
And you know why we did that? Because we're humans,
because
and we're excited.
Because we're
excited,
having fun.
You know? Yeah, exactly, exactly. This is a gift. Yeah, awesome fight, guys. They have 6 more fighters on the card. They just leaned over to indicate to us.
Here's Brent Bradley.
DeMarcus, your first kickboxing fight, your first win in front of Cheyenne, Wyoming. How you feeling right now?
Man, I feel incredible. It was a hard fight. Shout out to Isiah. He brought it, but I came home with the W.
DeMarcus, it really looked like the main equalizer in this fight was your kicks. You were bringing some real power with that inside leg kick and your rear to the liver. Is that something you've been working on real hard in camp?
Yes, sir. That's my main weapon, are my kicks, despite my small legs, though.
Well, you definitely showed that. Anything you want to say? Anybody you want to thank?
Oh, yes. First of all, I want to thank God. Thanks to my team. And most importantly, thanks to my wife, Xiao Shu. She's been there since day 1. Happy early anniversary, baby. I love you.
On behalf of Sparta, we can't wait to see you back. Good job, DeMarcus.
His wife's been with him since day 1. Although this is...